Me. Hello, everybody. All you live out there. Welcome to AI, Facebook, YouTube Live. Depends on where you're watching this. And we are here today to learn some Lava automation and, as I said, agency automation 101. So, we're going to talk about some ninja tricks. We're going to keep this about 20-25 minutes long. Going to keep you all the meat, all the potatoes. And I'm glad that you're joining us out there, whether you're watching us live, or whether you're watching us live, or whether you're watching us on recorded. I just appreciate you taking the time to do it. So we have a couple things that we're going to talk about when it comes down to automation, and I think we have a lot of things out there. Leah says, "Hi, Austin." We have some people coming out already. Austin Moorhead, welcome to AI Facebook Live, brother.
Thanks for having me, Cass.
Yeah,
it was a good day today.
Yeah. Was a good day.
Still is a good day. It's kind of cooking up. I got a couple more things left, but it's a Friday, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, and you're battling a little toothache, so
I do have a toothache.
Yes, you were understood on that, man. Yeah, hey, tough love on you there. Anybody out there, if you're watching us live, but as we're talking, throw your questions out there. If you're saying, hey, show some stuff, he's going to actually show some live things that he does behind the scenes in his actual strategy. So stay tuned to that. Austin, thank you very much for joining us, dude. I know you're a partner of Agency Intelligence, and for everybody out there, he does do the automation work for our agency at the Insurance Alliance as well. So I personally know how he does his stuff, and it's pretty amazing. So Austin, how are you, man?
Doing good. Hey, Chris. We're doing really good minus the toothache, like you mentioned. Staying super busy. We've got, because all we do is automation, I get to see behind the scenes in some really special agencies. We do stuff from like small, 3-man shops all the way up to I have one of my accounts is 100 plus agents.
Wow.
And so there's just kind of these weird nuances that we get depending on the account, and that's all we do. And so I just, it's kind of interesting to see the crazy stuff.
Well, fantastic. And I know you've seen a lot of it. You blew us away by the stuff that you told us. So when we're talking about automation, what would you say would be the number one place someone should start?
Mapping your process. And so if you don't know what you want to automate, the first thing I would say is start identifying where the leads come into your organization, and then write down the manual communication that you would do to those contacts. And that's what you look to automate first.
Yep, I agree. That's what you told us to do. And you do have many types of automation. When you're talking about your automation, before we're going to get into this, so all you people out there watching live, he's going to actually go behind the scenes. We're going to share screens in a minute. So you do many parts. You do the prospecting, the sales, you do the marketing, the renewals. You've built these processes already so that it kind of helps other agency owners so they don't have to. Am I right? What was the point here?
Yeah, that's totally it. Is that when you come with us, or if you're gonna do it on your own, the idea is that you want to start with some templates, and so we provide those templates, and when we're bringing a new organization on, we get the templates up and we draw them up before we get started. And I think if whether you use a service like ours or somebody else's, or if you go it yourself, the first thing you want to do is create those blueprints.
Right. I think you started with us with there was 80 possibilities. And then as we went through, we narrowed it down to 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there.
That's right.
Just by going through it. It was pretty intense, but it was well worth it. I didn't know you could automate some of the stuff you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we probably do have a library of a few hundred campaigns, depending on personal lines or commercial, pre-sale, customer, or retention. E&S on commercial is a total beast. I think that's the objective. Get in, take a look at what your options are, and then pick out.
You want to show us behind the scenes?
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
Let's rock and roll on that.
So when I meet a brand new account, the first thing that we do, let me go ahead and share the screen here.
Go ahead and share that.
I'll
bring it in here. There it is.
What we're looking at right here is a pre-sale spreadsheet, and it's got a bunch of unique campaigns on it. And so this very, very first one right here, this is for a data lead campaign. You'll notice here on the left-hand side, we've got the mode of communication. So call, email, SMS, ringless voicemail. And then these are like internal alerts. And then on the row across the top here, we've got the day that event would happen. And so down here on the bottom, you see these different tabs. So this one right here is the I'm going to call you a million times. I think it's like 51 calls over 20 days. And so it kind
Wow.
of helps if you have a dialer associated with it. And this is what you would do on like your lowest lead, your cheapest lead. You know, you got those $5 internet leads. You need to be really aggressive with those until you get them on the phone.
Right.
Kind of a buy or die cycle.
You don't recommend that for every lead, just that type of lead.
Yeah, this is for your junk lead. Absolutely.
Okay.
I would never do this to a referral. I would never do this to a warm lead.
Gotcha.
I would never do it to a web lead. This is more of a pattern that we follow for a web lead. It's a lot less. I think over 25 days, it's a total of 15 touches. That said, when I talk to people, they still go, like you just did, wow, 15 touches in 25 days. And I always ask everyone, you know, put yourself in the shoes of I only have one lead to work in a given month period. One lead. What would be the perfect scenario that you would follow? And oftentimes people, after doing that exercise, they realize, yeah, it's actually not that many touches. Because if the person responds to the very first automated communication, well, then they're out of that campaign. And so really, by the time they get to day 17 and day 25, the reason they're continuing to get this communication is because they've ignored you. And and so the communication, as we get through this cadence, the next step would be to go and create the content. And you always want to run some like an evolution of the message. So we'll start off with like benefits in the very first couple touches. You know, we're independent agents. We've got, you know, 100 carriers, 1,000 programs. And I think that's really special about the IA channel. And if you're not highlighting that in some of your first touches, I think you're doing a disservice to your organization. And
so Austin, 1 second here. So you help with the content as well. So not only setting this up. Okay. And then can you answer Josh's question real quick?
Yeah, let me see that here. Pop back over here.
No, I'm sorry about that. I'll do it. Do you have to use a specific AMS or CRM to work with Lava?
No, not at all. So we've got agents on EasyLinks, Now Search, AMS 360, Hawksoft. We like them all. We're pretty agnostic when it comes to that. And then with CRMs, we're currently supporting people on, I think, Agency Zoom, Insured Mind, Keep, and Ontraport. Nobody on HubSpot yet. I think that'd be down the road here a few months.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Continue on. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Thanks, Josh. So once we get the, you know, this timeline mapped here, then you go into the content creation, and you want to follow some evolution of the message intensifies or it changes, it alters. And so I always go like a good, again, logic. This is your logic right here. And then here's the fear/threat. And when we're, you know, so this is like our benefits, a bunch of carriers, bunch of programs, we'll remarket you at renewal every year. Like those are some really rad benefits. And then over here, maybe the logic is everybody else is doing it. And in insurance, what does that mean and how do you prove everybody else is doing it? And I think one of the things that we like to do is maybe like highlight some of your really good reviews in the content. See what another customer said. And so people want to be like everybody else. And so if a customer's giving you good feedback, I think it's worth sharing in your prospecting communication.
I agree. That makes sense.
And then on day 17, I call this the pre-breakup. We're letting them know that the rates could change. And my system has about a week left before it closes your file. And then on day 25, we're saying exactly that. Hey, today's the last day before my system closes your file. Go ahead and reach back out to us. And people will react to, you know, the different content at different times.
Imagine.
And so not everybody engages with the benefits, and not everybody engages with the social proof. But some people, you know, literally will wait till day 25, get hit with that. We're going to break up email. It's not me, it's you. And
but doesn't that make sense? Like in the billboard or the radio industry, you had to hear it, like I think, you know, 18 times, whatever they said. You had to drive by the billboard. Yeah. And then finally, at one point in time in your life, you see it and take action, right? It's just all about that. Yeah, that makes sense. Same thing, same concept.
We've been actually trying to measure, you know, what was the last touch in this campaign before you converted to the next campaign, to see if we could, like, let's say like email number 4 is the one that has the highest conversion in the campaign. Ideally, then you'd want to move email 4 and put it in email 3 and see if you could reduce the time per campaign.
That's a ninja trick.
Yeah, but what we've been finding is that works. Plus, we used to think it would be like one touch would be the end all be all to get you to convert. But the reality is, and I think it's what you just said, it's the totality of the campaign that gets you to convert. It's the 8 touches. It's the 18th time you drove by that billboard and finally it sticks.
That's right. That's right.
And so if you're just emailing or just calling and you're not hitting these other channels and you're not spreading it out over a period of time, you're actually kind of doing your clients a disservice, because it's the totality of effort that will move the needle. If you go back, I would say 5 years, everybody would say it takes 8 calls to achieve contact as an average across all leads, so referrals, data leads, website traffic. What we're seeing now is that average of outbound calls has been reduced from 8 to about 4, because you have automated emails, texts, and voicemails that can assist, getting the contact and move in. So as technology has progressed, our actual prospecting efforts have declined. As far as the manual of work that we put into it. And the automation is now responsible for 40 to 60% of the effort, depending on the campaign.
Wow.
So let me flip through a couple tabs here. So this campaign, this S&P, the sequential marketing path, is designed to help a new lead, fill out a fact finder, or, submit your Canopy Connect information. This campaign right here is designed to chase people if you're missing information.
Let me ask you this question. How do you see people using Canopy Connect? I know a couple ways, but I'd be curious, how do you see people using that as kind of collecting information at the beginning? Where is that?
Yeah.
What's some advice there?
Two ways I would use Canopy Connect. So I would put it in your new lead campaigns. So if a lead's coming in onto your website, or if it's a referral campaign that you've got running, the email would say, respond to this email, or prefer to get started now, click this link and follow the prompts. And so that's one way. The other way is, let's say your producer's on the telephone talking with a prospect and they're saying, hey, I'm super busy right now. Can you call me back in a couple of days? If you have a, Start Canopy Connect automation, you could drag the card to that Start Canopy Connect automation. It could shoot off an email immediately or a text immediately with the link. And so the prospect who doesn't have time for you right now can then do it at dinner tonight, hypothetically.
Right. Okay.
So those are the two ways. Either put it in your new lead campaign or have it something that you can fire off, at will.
Okay. Thank you.
So this is I don't think we're getting a lot of magic out of this, other than the fact that you can see here, this is a quote ready campaign. And there's, I want to say 15, 16 touches in here. And so if you're looking at your processes and you don't have automation, or you do have automation and maybe you only have 1 or 2 touches in your campaigns, and maybe it lasts 2 or 3 weeks, let me tell you, we get people that convert 25 days and 20 touches later. And so I would really implore everyone to kind of beef it up, try and add more touches in there. It is a concentrated effort.
One of the things I've heard you say before also is that I'll probably get it wrong, but a lot of time we used to try to match the automation to the process, and today we need to add the process to the automation. Am I saying that backwards?
Well, I think it's pretty close. We always had our process before we added technology to it, and then when we added technology, we wanted the technology to mirror our process. Each of the CRMs that we mentioned earlier today, they have their strengths and weaknesses. And if a CRM provides a feature that would allow you to get through exponential amounts of tasks, you should allow the CRM to do whatever that feature is, because it's designed for that. And then you do the manual things it doesn't do.
Gotcha.
Let me see, what would be a great example of that. A great example might be, oh man, it kind of got me on the spot with that one. But
no, that's okay. No, it's okay. I'm just on the spot. I didn't need you to go that far. It just, it does. It just really makes sense when you say that, because it's a different way of looking at it. As you said today, there's automation that takes care of most of it. Then what it can't, then that's what you do. And that's a different mindset. So that.
Let me pull up the content here real quick. So what we've been looking at so far, is the pre-sell campaigns. This is the waiting on decision. Here's your X day. Here's X day without calls, claim ticket, win back campaigns, things you guys have probably all heard. Here's your long-term nurture, it's just kind of like the graveyard. Here's a customer experience. Once we have everything mapped, then the next stage is to get into the content. Let me pull up something here that would be useful. And so the timeline on the spreadsheet, this timeline plus this content becomes your playbooks. And I always encourage everybody to teach your team your playbooks. So if you went to a restaurant and you asked the waiter or the waitress, hey, what comes on the farm burger? They should be able to rattle off. It has a hamburger, cheese, tomatoes, pickles, and an egg. They should know their menu. And I think that insurance agents, specifically producers that are using automation, should know their playbooks. And so after you create your timelines, then the next step is to come put pencil to paper and have a playbook. And so I recommend that if it's your very first time doing it, create your playbook, your content in a Word doc or a Google Doc. That way you've got it someplace. And then depending on your CRM, if it's very user friendly, then maybe after your blueprint has been created, maybe you do all future revisions in the CRM. Depends on the complexity. Some CRMs, it requires an engineer to edit the campaigns. And so if your CRM's that complex, then you live in your content, blueprints permanently.
There's another automation master that's dropped in here, Gary Paulson, and said hi. He said, hey, Austin. Boy,
hey, Gary.
He's good too. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Gary's been killing it for a while on the automations. He blew my mind back in 2015. So good to have you, Gary.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, he honestly, I think I took a lot from Gary years ago when I first kind of got started in the game, and trying to really compete with him on reviews is kind of like some of that secret sauce.
He's a monster. Gary, if you're still out there watching as Austin continues on, how many reviews do you have? If you want to drop that in there, if you're still on. But okay, well, Austin, that's some good stuff, and it shows behind the scenes, and I like how you're connecting the content. I'm glad that you guys do that. Any other things out there that ninja tricks, any other things that people need to think about when it comes to automation, when it comes to any kind of tricks you see in the renewal process? Like are there touches? How do you see that? Is there anything different there, to put you on the spot here again?
Yeah, no, I'm real good with the customer experience. And so once we've sold the account, I think the objective is that we've got probably maybe 4 or 5 key things that we need to talk about during the first year with your agency. How to get service, how to use my website. If you have something like Glovebox, how to download the app. If you have maybe processes that you want them to adhere to. And so there's 4 objectives right there alone that you could enter into your customer communication. And if you're thinking about how do I get all of that message in there, and how do I spread it out throughout the year, and how many touches can I allocate to it? Because you want to balance your customers. You want to respect your customers' inbox, and they probably would get annoyed if you send them 10 emails the first month. And so when it comes down to the customer communication, you want to list all of your objectives, and hopefully you got 4 or 5 of them, and then you want to plot them essentially on your timeline. You got about 9 months, I think, to communicate with them before the renewals start.
Okay.
So here's our reviews. Please leave us one. This is how you get service. Did you get your policy in the mail yet? Here's our website again. Here's our mobile app. And then kind of plot those things out. And what I would say is no more than 2 emails a month, no more than 2 SMSs a quarter, and maybe 1 RVM a quarter. And so, through 9 months, you should be somewhere between like 15 and 20 touches max.
So all the rookies out there, because not everybody knows this, and it's okay to be a rookie. What's the RVM?
Yeah, it's a ringless voicemail. You see Gary. So it's a ringless voicemail. And what a ringless voicemail is 2 calls go out essentially at the same time. The first call engages the phone, forcing that second call to bounce off and go straight to your voicemail.
That's how it works, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and what the user experience is, they hear the phone kind of blip, it goes ring, like a half ring, and then it hangs up. They pick up their phone and they have an unknown missed call, and then they'll have a voicemail from your agency.
That's absolutely genius. Going back to the man, the myth, the legend, Gary Paulson. Look at that. Wow, those are
1,500 in Kennewick.
Google reviews. That is sweet.
So
Wow.
it's really crazy. One of our organizations, when I do exactly what Gary does. He takes the NPS portion out of the middle of his review process, and we do the same thing. If I just sold you as a customer, you had a great experience. There's no need to ask you if you had a good experience before redirecting you to the URL to leave a review. Just take them straight to the review section. I'm pretty sure Gary does the same thing.
That makes sense.
Our biggest account, we get them about 50 reviews a month, 50 a month. And once you start to get your reviews up, and I see Gary does this too, and I think this is the next strategy, you want to get a second location if you can, and start working on that reviews on that second location. And now you're starting to get this, like, you're starting to own the map when it comes to reviews.
Wow, dude.
And so, yeah, I think taking the NPS section out of your review request is the bee's knees. And then maybe I'll grab the screen one more time and I'll show you one last thing. Okay. So this thing right here, oh my gosh, everyone's like, Austin, we've got this crazy renewal process. I need to ask my customers, a couple of questions, and they never bite. They never bite. I can never get my customers to just engage in my stinking survey. And so how do you get them to do it? And I think the answer, which I've stolen from Daniel Sung, Chaz Churchwell, and Mark Rogers, and we've kind of combined some of these themes, is you got to get a form builder. And you got to get the form builder to be simple. Let me see if I can't get in here to one of these accounts here and show you what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So we can see here that we've got 1,041. Oh, dang. Got to share. Oh, my bad.
Yep. That's okay.
Okay. Here we go again. All right, which is great. So
here we go.
When it comes to form builders, I like Gravity Forms, I like JotForm, I like Cognito, but of the three, I think that Cognito is the cleanest because it's the most condensed. If I had to pick a second favorite, I'd probably go with JotForm because it does a really good job of converting your form data into PDF. So if you want to do like a conditional form to an accord, I like JotForm for that. Otherwise, Cognito is the way to go for me. And so you'll see here on this live changes simple survey that we've got 1,000 entries, and this is only a few months old. And so let's go take a look at what the form looks like. And so this would go out roughly 3 months before the renewal. Before we've even had a chance to look at their downloads, we want to engage them with this information. And so let me walk you through it. So the whole objective with this thing is that it can be done in under 2 minutes. And that's where we find that we're succeeding at getting the customers to engage with us. So has your mailing address changed? I'm going to hit no. If you hit yes, it would ask the address. And you see how it's conditional like this? And the reason I like the Cognito form instead of like a survey form is I'm not clicking a next button every time I answer. Every time I answer, it just pops out the next question in the screen that I'm currently in. So my marital status hasn't changed. I do own a business. It's automation support. Okay. And then I'm interested in a business quote. You notice how when I said I'm interested in a business quote, it doesn't ask me a lot of other details. It's meant to be fast. And so this is the trick with this thing, is we're literally trying to see how fast we can get the customers to engage us. Tell us about any driving habits they might have had. So let's just say, drive share. Aftermarket question. I think this is talking about spoilers and rims. Let's say I got a really cool spoiler.
And as a client of yours, we can edit this if we wanted to, correct?
Oh, well, I think as a client of mine, we would edit it for you upon your request.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
What I mean. Yeah,
we would do the work. And so I think that's the idea of our service is that, you want to be an insurance agent, you want to be an office manager, you want to be a team leader, you want to be a sales leader. You don't want to be an automation expert, and so you hire an organization like ours, and we just come in and manage your CRM, your data, and help create a wonderful experience for your customers to go through. Do you have any special personal property that we need to insure? And so you can list out, jewelry.
And
So
obviously people are doing this. You showed us before that you guys, this
oh
is something
yeah,
you've just come out within the last 3-4 months or whatever you said, and you've got a lot of people that are responding.
1,000 of them, absolutely. And so here I'll do the nose the rest of the way. And then here's the end of it. You got any other policies you'd like us to look at? And then they can hit submit. And so the entire process, if if you're going slow and being very methodical about it, you can be through this survey, I want to say in about 3 minutes, maybe 4, kind of at the max. And I think that's the reason that people are coming through it. And if you want to see real quick some of the results, so I don't know if you guys caught towards the bottom here. Are you interested in receiving an affordable life insurance quote? So out of those 1,000 entries, let's see if we can't go see how many yeses we got. Here's life insurance. So look at that. I don't know, maybe 100 people said yes to, they want a life insurance quote.
Wow.
Did you see that yes column there?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh cow.
And so there was 4 or 5 pivots in that form, and I pulled the stats the other day, and what the stats tell me is that we get a 70% customer completion. So if we ask 100 customers to complete it, 70 of them do. And then of the 70 that do, each of them self-pivots 1.15 times, where they're raising their hand saying, I need another policy.
Wow. So at least one time.
Per customer. Yeah, sometimes 2.
Cool.
And that simple form probably would take you, I would say, maybe 30 minutes to put together the first time, where you can come to us and then crafting into your stuff maybe takes another couple hours, and then now all of a sudden you've got in this case 1,150 pivots by the customer, and it was all automated.
Yeah. Give Austin a round of applause if you're watching this. Go to the chat, put in Austin, great job, great work. You're awesome. Tell him if you want whatever you really think about him. It's fine. we may show it, we may not. So no, I really do appreciate you. And I mean, do you have anything else as we wrap up here?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at Brainchild this year. So I'm really excited about that. So we can.
Booyah.
Yeah, I mean, how much are we not talking about? Because it's just a 20-minute clip. And so at Brainshare, I think we'll just on the sidelines, we'll be having some really in-depth conversations about this stuff. So.
And I think, there's going to be some great people that are going to be there. And if you want to go, it's aibrainshare.com, aibrainshare.com. That's where you're going to go. We got Scott. He is giving the praise, giving the woo-woo. And appreciate you, everybody out there watching. And aibrainshare.com. Hey, where can they find you if they want to find out more about you, man? If they want to reach out to you, where's the best place?
Yeah, the website is lavaautomation.com, LAVA automation.com.
That's it. Fantastic. Hey, really appreciate you, man. There's not a lot of you out there in the industry. Really, I mean, seriously, we have a lot of CRMs. We have a lot of different, we have a lot of VE companies. We have a lot of stuff, but there's not a lot of really good I think you, and I would say, Casey Nelson?
Casey Nelson.
Casey Nelson.
And Chad might kill me. I think a few years ago, Chad Spade helped a couple people with some CRM stuff. And,
Chad's awesome. Moved from California over to Tennessee.
I think.
Yeah.
And then I think Capsule 5 kind of does some stuff similar to what we do. So I think in the country there's a handful of fractional CRM administrative developers for insurance agents.
Yeah, but none like a prior agency owner. That's the big deal. So all you guys out there, thank you very much for watching, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook. We appreciate you taking your time. We usually held out there around 12, 13, 14, and those were people who are wanting to learn. Austin, thank you very much for allowing people to see behind the scenes to what you've created, dude. I really, truly love it. And for everybody else out there, like I said, I think we got another chat in. I always want to read the chats. What do we got going down here?
So Bill asked, can a form like that be agency facing? And the answer is absolutely. We actually use those Cognito forms for fact finding, for renewal questionnaires, for renewal supplementals, and for little simple forms like that. And we try and customize them to the process. Absolutely, they're internal facing.
Okay, and what about here? Michael's saying results are available in Excel or dashboard as well. Yes.
I think the Cognito dashboard would have those results. They can be emailed anywhere, and Cognito forms like Zapier and Dropform, they connect to Zapier, so you can probably put the data wherever you'd like.
Catman, how you doing out there, man? Thanks for watching. We definitely appreciate it. And this one, I think you already got and you already answered.
Oh,
So, hey, I appreciate it very much. Thank you, everybody out there. Thank you very much. This has been Agency Intelligence Live with Lava Automation and our man Austin Moorhead. Be sure to reach out to him. You go to lavaautomation.com.